Okay, we're going to learn how to do the histogram with the Excel spreadsheet, and hopefully you can hear me on this PowerPoint recording, and maybe it'll work a little better this time. So basically you have this data, and you need to find the mean, median, and mode, and standard deviation. This one's already done, and if you look, if I click on the cell, the student just used a formula. So up here's where the formula is. So for the mean, it's just the average. So it's equal average, and then it's all this yellow data, 1 through 12, is what B3 through M3 is. And that'll give them their average. The median, the formula is just equals median. And then mode, the formula is just equals mode. And then standard deviation, this student did it in a really old version of Excel. And it had just STDEV as the formula. Now if you do it, the new version has standard deviation for sample data and for population data. See, our choices are .S and .P now. No longer does it have STDEV. That's an old formula. So we're using sample data, so we're using the function .S because our students didn't sample every M&M's bag in the whole world. They only had a sample of the M&M. So STDEV.S is the formula, and then we have to highlight the data. So we're going to just do the yellow M&M. So we're going to highlight the yellow trial data and hit enter. And if you notice, that's the same number that the old formula used to spit out. So you'll use STDEV.S, and that'll give you all your standard deviations. Then when you go to do your histogram, you have to create your bins. So a histogram tells you the frequency, or how many of the data points fall within a particular range. Well, our ranges are going to be, the middle is going to be the mean. So our middle bin is going to be whatever your mean is. And then we're going to have a bin that is between the mean and plus 1 standard deviation. And we'll put formulas in a minute. I don't really want to put formulas. I'm trying to actually just put text here so you know what it is. So let me put a apostrophe, and that will turn it into text instead of a formula. And I'm going to take that equal sign out. Okay, and then this bin will be plus 2 standard deviations from the mean, and this bin will be plus 3 standard deviations from the bin, and then the other bins will be minus that. So this bin will be minus 1 standard deviation. The next bin will be minus 2 standard deviations, and then the next one will be minus 3 standard deviations. And you don't really have to label them. I'm just labeling them here for you so you know what we're doing. So in the formulas for your bins, because these are actually our bins, this one we need the mean. Well, the mean's up here. So this cell is going to equal whatever number's right there. And it'll carry that number down. And then this one will equal the mean plus 1 times the standard deviation. And I realize you don't have to type the 1 times, but I'm just going to show you in the formula. So 1 times the standard deviation. So our formula says that it equals the mean, which is in O3, plus 1 times, which is the asterisk R3, which is where the standard deviation is. And that will give us the cap of that bend. This one's going to be equals the mean plus 2 times the standard deviation. And this bin is going to be equals the mean, whoops, I picked median, sorry. It's going to be the mean plus 3 times the standard deviation. And then we're going to go down here, we're going to do the same thing, except they're going to be minus. So this one's going to be equals the mean minus 1 standard deviation. This one's going to be equals the mean minus 2 times the standard deviation. And then the last one is going to be equals the mean minus 3 times the standard deviation. Alright, so now that we have our bin set up, and I realize negatives don't make any sense because it's M&Ms. We really don't have big enough bags of M&Ms to have enough candies to make this many bins. So it doesn't make physical sense, but our bin's going to end at a negative number. Alright, so to do a histogram, on your tab up here at the top, pick data, and then do data analysis. Now that's assuming you have done the add-in for the tool pack. So let me show you how to do that if you didn't. You go to File, and then you go down to Options all the way down here at the bottom, and then you go to Add-ins, and then you have to check off tool pack. If it's down here, like you would check it off, and whenever you click on it, you have to hit Go. And then once you hit Go, you check it off here. You don't need the Visual Basic one. You just need the top one. And then hit OK, and now it should show up at the end of your Data tab. Once you have Data Analysis, you can click Data Analysis and scroll down to Histogram and click OK. Now yours will be blank when it first comes up, but because I've already done this once, it came populated. So these will be blank. If you click on this square, it'll let you go and highlight your data. And then, so we need our input range. Our input range is our data for the yellow. So I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to go highlight, right, my yellow trials. Then to get back to that screen, I can push this, and it will go back down. Then I have to highlight my bin range, which is these right here. And then over here, you can put it on a different worksheet, the answer or the histogram on a different worksheet, but I want it on this same worksheet. So I chose output range, and then I click here and I can put it wherever I want. And then also pick this chart output. The chart is the only way you're going to actually get the graph. Otherwise, you just get a table. So, and by default, it's off. So make sure it's checked. And then hit OK. And there's your charts or your table, and then here's your graph, and then you can go in and change the color. So if you left click on the bars and then right click, you'll see you can change the color of the fill and the outline and make it yellow to match your yellow candy, and you're done. And that should be your histogram. And then this just tells you that 5 of your trials, 5 of your bags had exactly the mean, the average number of yellow M&Ms in them. 1 bag was below it, 3 bags were within 1 standard deviation above it, and 3 bags were within 2 standard deviations of the average. And our average was about 8 yellow M&Ms in these bags, apparently. Alright, hopefully that's enough for you to be able to go do the rest of your colors. If you have any questions, let me know.